All right, you are listening to the Veterinary Ledger Podcast. Here we turn numbers into decisions and help practice owners build clarity, confidence, and lasting success. Today we have Jake Waas. Jake Waas, Covina Animal Hospital. Jake, it's great to have you on the podcast.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So, Jake, we've known each other for years, right? I feel like we've grown up together, various conferences at MedWorld. So it's been nice to watch you kind of blossom into maybe that's not the most masculine word to use. I'm sorry. Grow into this, develop this role that you've done. So
yes,
we're already starting off strong, right? But I love, though, this has been a family practice, right? You literally grew up in your practice.
Literally grew up in the practice. So yes, blossom is a fine word. We can use that.
What are your, do you have memories going back where you're like, oh my gosh, I remember crawling into a cage or helping mom do this?
Oh yeah. And none that I look back on thinking very highly of. They were very much the snot-nosed kid running around the hospital. Can't believe my parents let me necessarily do that, but I guess they didn't really have childcare, so they needed something.
That's what the cages are for, right?
Oh, I've got great memories of mop buckets being poured down hallways and throwing grapefruits in the backyard with the other people that worked there. So
that's
things
awesome.
that didn't make
That's
my parents
awesome.
very happy, and I was just a little brat.
Oh, you were naughty? I don't picture you as being naughty.
I hope I matured a little bit as time went on, and some of those people still work there. So, and I hope I earned their respect as time has gone on. So
I love that. Was it always the goal when you were throwing grapefruit where you're like, these are going to be my grapefruit one day?
I didn't think so. I did not. I think I always knew I wanted to own my own business. I thought it would be maybe more on the human side. I like exercise and fitness. So thinking something in the physical therapy realm or sports training and development. But then as time went on, my parents gave me a great opportunity, asking if they wanted to have me come and work back at the practice. And it just seemed like a great thing to come back and do because I grew up in it and I always enjoyed it. And I loved the idea of being in business and how can we make this be something special for the community and everything. So it was just a good opportunity to come back and start working in the practice. And even here I am 10 years after really starting and working there for real full time, I still don't picture myself doing anything different.
That's huge. I mean, family business, you hear so much, awesome success stories for it. But I would think that, this is what your parents had created. And now your role is no longer the little kid with the grapefruits. You are the leader, right? You're the voice. And how has that changed? What did that change look like to start to, I'm sure you already always had it, but gain the respect and trust of the employees, and you are the point person of the practice, and they should be going to you for any and all kind of questions, concerns.
Yeah. And it was definitely a transition over a period of time. First things just coming back right out of college and coming back into the practice, I was working 7 days a week, 10-hour days. And that was just, I think, that work ethic that helped earn some amount of trust and respect, I think was the best part of it. Working still in the kennels, answering the telephone, learning different tech skills so that I could draw blood and take x-rays and do all the different parts of the business. I think one, not only helped earn part of that respect, but two, just got a better understanding of how the business really works. And I think those are the same tools that have helped me even where I am today. And I still like to get involved at the day-to-day level because I think it just keeps me fresh. But that was over a couple of year period of starting to slowly get more involved into the management side of things. And even got to a point towards the end when my parents were looking to officially back out and retire that sat down with everybody on the team one-on-one and said, hey, this is the day moving forward that Jake is your go-to person. And, we're still around, but Jake is your go-to person for different things. And I think that made it a little bit more official. And as time went on too, I really tapped into a lot of the key players that were there at the practice, whether it be doctors or different technicians or people in the front of the office. Really started to build my leadership team because there really wasn't a leadership team before. It was my parents who really kind of ran most of things. But when I started to incorporate other people in the practice, I think that kind of built a little bit more of a, we're in this together, and he does really value our opinions and what we have to say. And it's still how I run the practice today with a group of managers that really help make the practice run efficiently and smoothly.
I think that's so important, right? Because you're just one, and especially is to get the feedback from the people on the floor, right? The ones that are actually doing the job, that's going to be the most successful. My new favorite question to ask is, was there like a moment when you realized you were the adult in the room? Like, and somebody asked, to make a decision, and you're like, oh no, they're asking me.
Right. I don't know that there was something quite like that. I think I always felt somewhat comfortable stepping into that position. And I think there was a bit of arrogance coming right out of school of just like, oh, I can do this. I'm great. And then again, now where I stand here today, there's much more of like that. I feel like I almost somewhat second guess myself more nowadays than I did as that arrogant kid coming in. Like when you didn't know anything, you don't know what you don't know. But now there's things where like, oh yeah, maybe I should take a beat, think a little bit about this or get some more opinions. So I don't know. I don't know that quite answers your question, but it's
maybe you still don't realize you're the adult in the room.
Well, exactly.
We're waiting for that moment.
Yeah, sure.
I think it was so smart what you just said, like giving leadership and autonomy to team members and having them elevate their positions and roles within the practice. Was there something you looked for, like a personality trait or characteristic of those individuals to kind of welcome in to the management family?
Yeah, I definitely think from the start, it was a little bit more not how it's supposed to be done, but just based on tenure. It was looking around at the people that I grew up with and knew these people and had that type of relationship with. But certainly as time has gone on, moved away from more of the just tenure being what's earned somebody's spot and look more for different competencies. So yes, to your point, I think there's a lot of people that really just show that they care and take that initiative. Loyalty is that certain part that I think is so important, and people that are willing to put in their all for the practice and help support each other around them. And again, initiative I go back to a lot is people that can take an idea and run with it and implement it and aren't just sitting there on the sidelines complaining or whatever the issue may be. So I think those are things that have, as time has gone on, to now having a team of people that really care, really work hard, take the effort to implement new change initiatives and make the tough decisions when necessary.
Sure. Of the many things I think are really unique and awesome. I mean, you're also not a practicing doctor, right? So you're a CVPM. So talk to us about that certification and how did it change and how did it impact how you lead the practice?
Yeah, and I'm glad you pointed that out because I think that's always been a little bit of a struggle running a veterinary practice and not being a veterinarian myself. Thankfully, I have my mom that I can always still talk to and reference. And again, I've got a great team of doctors, some of which who have been there for many years. And so it's great to lean on them for the medicine side of things. But I certainly lean on them for the medicine side of things. When it comes to the management, that's where I've always been super excited of running a business and what I wanted to do since I was a little kid. So yes, as an early manager, there were people like Meghan around that kind of influenced me to be like, hey, check out the VHMA. Hey, get involved in these things. And yeah, when I went to my first VHMA conference, and I think this was in 2017, it was, wow, these are my people. These are people who are running practices and multi-doctor practices and care about the profession and care about their careers. And it was life-changing right from there. And some of my closest best friends are people that have come from the VHMA and that organization. And being able to attain the CDPM was just a nice added boost to like, hey, this is something that I've dedicated myself to, something that I am here in this industry and want to be in this industry and have made it a commitment to be high level practicing manager.
I think it provides street cred too, right? It's not just that you like lucked into it. Your mom needed somebody here. You're filling this role. Like you have made this. This is your profession. This is your career. This is your passion. All of that stuff, I think, is shown through your work with the BHMA.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm thankful and grateful that one of my managers on my team is a CVPM as well. And just even seeing her when she earned her CVPM, the amount of confidence that gave her as somebody who didn't have a bachelor's degree, coming in and working in the practice and needed to work and couldn't afford to necessarily continue to stay in school based on family and things, and to be here and earn that CVPM after working in the practice for a couple decades was huge for her, and has even what would that word be, of made somebody else in the practice really excited for it. So now I've got another younger manager who's looking to achieve, whether it be the CVPM or the certified veterinary office manager, because she's really excited and wants to commit herself to the industry as well. So it's really exciting, the people in the practice that have really cared so much to make it something special.
I think we should point out too, you, for many, many years, you served on the educational programming committee for the BHMA. So you literally are like, have helped shape what the industry is focusing on and what we're learning and that kind of thing. What, like looking forward, what do you think the next big things are?
Best things or next big things for VHMA or things for the industry?
Let's go with industry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I definitely got to, it was great to be able to serve on it and be a part of that and work together with other colleagues in the industry to like, what's the things that our members need to know and be involved with. As my last kind of bit heading out of there was looking at AI and technology and how much of that I think is really shaping the industry as a whole. I mean, we hear a lot about it right now as we're speaking today, talking about an AI bubble. So obviously there's lots of different things that are going on with that. But that's something that I think does create new challenges and new opportunities, and something that, I mean, we hear it a lot in the industry of different ways people can potentially use it, from how you use it from a client service standpoint to how you use it from a medicine and practicing medicine standpoint to making things more efficient in medical record keeping. So I think that's definitely a big trend and something interesting to keep an eye on. But otherwise, as far as the industry, man, I don't know. It just seems like business in general is always changing and there's always things going on. So the best thing I got to say is just stay on your toes and keep learning and see where you could be so that you're staying ahead of the game.
I mean, that's so pronounced, your curiosity and desire for learning. I got to go backwards in, because a lot of individuals, they feel like that's the barrier to entry. Hey, I'm not a doctor. I can't own a practice, but some states like yours allow it directly. Others, you have to create like a management service organization, but there's ways for non-DVMs to own practice. But I just feel like there's just this, if I don't have my, a DVM, imposter syndrome, like there's no way I could be a good, owner. And clearly you're proof that no, if you dive in, put the education and the, time behind it, there's absolutely ways to be successful as a practicing, non-DVM owner.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Again, I can't take for granted the fact that I've been able to be in the position that I am because of my parents. And again, I think that's a unique opportunity that I'm extremely grateful for. Looking forward, I think about partnering with a veterinarian, because as much as I've always had my mom as kind of that background, as much as she's not practicing in the clinic and hasn't been for a number of years now. And I appreciate you acknowledging, like, yes, that I can make it work, but it's still a veterinary hospital and definitely needs veterinary leadership, and something that, especially as well, to give a shout out to Granite Peak, the help from you guys of looking at succession planning for my family. Big part of that is going to be looking at making sure we're setting up for the future and that there is a partner veterinarian involved. Because at the end of the day, it is still medicine. And as much as I can do the business side of things, we're still practicing medicine and taking care of pets. And I think that does warrant having a veterinarian partner be involved too. So as much as we've been able to make it run and things can go well for here, I do believe in the long-term stability for the practice, and that would be partnering with a veterinarian to make it happen.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of
For
sense.
long term, okay, you've got a 1-year-old, right? He's not quite 2 yet.
Not quite 2. No, yeah, I got a 1-year-old.
Do we have a 30-year plan? Is he
Yeah, that would be great. You can't force the guys into doing something like, but man, you betcha there's going to be every bit of nudging and coaxing, because that would be cool.
So you'd encourage it, like this would be a good, you would say, follow me, we got this?
Heck yeah. I mean, I think I would say that it's not even necessarily about the industry as a whole. I should speak to that. Like, I love this industry. Again, I don't plan on being anywhere else, but I think it's just about doing something with your family and being able to be a part of that. You could ask the people that saw me work with my parents, man, a lot of butty heads. But at the end of the day, we still love each other. And I think it's been great for our family as a whole. And I would love to pass that along with our kids.
Keep me close to those conversations with my 7-year-old. I tried to, work out my transition plan. He keeps telling me accounting is boring, and you don't know boring yet, buddy. So, I'm not there. So maybe you'll have more success on your front than I so far.
Well,
If you had a Lego store, your kid would be all about it.
I was going to say, again, you talk about just like in stupid kid things. Like, I was a kid growing up and I was like, Mom, you're just working on animals all day. How special is that? And like, here I am. So right here, I think of like how cool it is that we get to be in an industry that does get to be like business and so like real, working with pets. Like, it doesn't get much more special than being able to do something like that. But yet as a kid, I thought, wow, that's kind of lame. You just work on pets all day. Like, okay, why don't you do something cooler? Just stupid kid stuff.
Like being an accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay on the kids though, because like myself, business owner, have a couple children. It's work-life balance. Everyone talks about it, what it means to them. Everyone should have their own definition, and clearly you lived it and experienced it. I say it's more integration, work-life integration. How can we blend the both together? What's your take on that? Having a little one, but running a growing practice. There's not enough hours in the day. How are you able to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. I share the same philosophy as yours. Work-life integration. I definitely am somebody that I'm always thinking about the business. It's something that is just always in the back of my mind, and not necessarily from a bad standpoint, but man, I mean, my wife and I are out to dinner last night, and I can't help but notice the customer service and just think like, man, is this how we provide things, or what do we do? Like, what? That's just what I do. It's just how I like to think about it. But man, yeah, especially after having a kid, and we hope to have more kids as time goes on. Like, how do you balance and juggle that? That's tough. I think that's why I'm so grateful for the team that I have, and knowing that you have a team to rely on. I know I had started this off by saying I was working 70-hour weeks. I don't thankfully have to work 70-hour weeks anymore, because I've got a great team that I can delegate things to, and they feel empowered to take on those positions. And why I've mentioned, I think it's so important to have people that care and take initiative. Because as much as I care and love the business, I don't want it to be the only thing that defines me. I want to be a good husband, a good wife, or a good husband, a good father. I want to be involved in other things in life. And I think that means you need to be able to have other people that you can lean on. And so being able to have a good leadership team and management that can help keep the day-to-day of the practice running has been really important for me. But then, as a mindset, just making that a commitment that there is going to be family time, and that if I really want to be the father and husband that I want to be, that there's going to be certain things that I'm going to need to do, being home at a reasonable time so that I can be there with my kid.
Sure.
So that might mean I'm gonna have to wake up early and go to work early, or, work through a lunch, so that I can go home and spend some time with my kid. So I think it's just about taking those priorities and being able to have other people that you can lean on for help.
Sounds like you're doing it right.
Yes, very much so.
Trying to figure it out. lots of bumps in the road, but we'll figure it out.
You got people to catch you.
Yeah.
As we get ready to wrap here today, your parents are tuning in. They're listening to this episode. What do you think they're most proud of? Not of the episode. I'm talking about you specifically. I don't want to take all the credit. It was a great moderator. He was outstanding.
That's some really insightful questions.
I think they're proud of how this practice has continued to be successful even without them having to be involved. And especially that this is everything that they worked for and everything that they invested in and everything that was going to be their retirement. And to just be at the end of their career and to think that, what are we going to do with this practice, and the trust that they put into me, and to see that I have hopefully fulfilled that with them, that they do have a retirement and that they still have a successful practice, I think is the things that they would be most proud of.
I think that's a pretty awesome answer. I think talking on the business realm, thriving family legacy business is pretty dang hard to beat. You and the family seem to be the gold standard of that, Jake. So really appreciate the time, all the thoughts and wisdom that you shared. So thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It was great to talk to you, both of you, and thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye.